So this is Minnie. She is my eldest female. She is the definitely the big boss lady, aren't you? Hey, you definitely wear the trousers in this pack of cats. I tell you, she's gorgeous. She has mellowed out in her old age. She's 11. No, Gizmo's 11, so she's 10 because we had her when Gizmo was a year old. Yeah, she was the runt of the litter, believe it or not. And in the words of the woman that we had her off, she was like a Facebook advertising of the runt of the litter, because she wasn't as cute. That's what the woman said when I went round to go and see her and to pick her up. There was no way I was leaving her with this woman. She was like, oh, she's rather chunky. She's the biggest of the litter, and yeah, she's not as cute. And I thought she was beautiful. She snuggled into me, and she never let go. And I thought, there's a sign there if I ever saw one, isn't there? So you wanted to stay with me? I thought, I am in no way leaving her behind with this woman. So yeah, and she wanted red. She did, this woman. She wanted her gone. She wanted her to, because she was the last one there. Yeah, she has got a bit around her middle. A little bit more to love, ain't ya? Hey, you got a little bit more to love. She's always been the same. She has actually dropped a bit of weight, and I think it's just down to her older age. You know, she's she's not like proper pensioner age yet, but in cat terms, it's like the class of the seniors, from 10 upwards. And so anyway, I know that I've had older cats that have, like, the oldest one I've had has lived up until 22 years of age. And Minnie's 10, so there's a lot of years left in her yet. But you know, she hasn't dropped a lot to be worried about in weight. It's just like a little bit, a few pounds off. So instead of her back being completely, whoop, it's okay. You're not as grumpy as you used to be. She used to be a right Mardy. But yeah, her back used to be completely level. Watch what I'm doing with my hand, just in case she decides to take a swipe at me. But now she's got that little bit of a dip in her back. Look at that, chops. Yeah, she's got a little dip in her back now. So it's a healthy loss. It's not anything to be worried about. If I was concerned, if she was dropping a lot of weight and stuff, then I'd be obviously taking her to the vets. But no, she's just dropped a tiny bit off her. I will get her checked anyway at some point. They will be going for like just a quick MOT just to make sure they're all right. It's getting them in the carrier that's the harder bit. She's a bit of a Mardy when it comes to getting in the carrier. So I have to sort of lure her with a bit of a trap. Don't I? She likes chewing this thing, and I have to be careful now because, you know, she spits it out, but she is one for chewing plastic. And she has been sick, brought it back up again, so. But yeah, she's definitely in charge, I think, rather than Gizmo. He thinks he wears the trousers, but she definitely does. Look at that face, scowling. Yeah, she's calmed down a lot. She used to be a real mardarse. And she never used to really come to me for cuddles and fuss, but now, wait, you're turning away now. So, yeah, now she comes in for a cuddle and a fuss, and she'll sit on my lap. I know that she's there, put it that way. She has got a weight to her. Sometimes they don't fight, all these. There's never a real fight. There's just like kerfuffles. It's always Gizmo and Minnie, and it's always been the same ever since we had her. When she was a little kitten, I actually was worried about her with Gizmo and how Gizmo would be with her, when in fact it had to be the other way around. She was like the Tasmanian devil. She'd be proper hissing and spitting at him and stuff. It was so funny. And he didn't know what to make of this little aggressive looking thing that was just sitting there spitting away. And then I'd buy her kitten food, and she wouldn't be interested in the kitten food. She'd go straight for Gizmo's cat food. So, yeah, they've always had this love-hate relationship where she can be sitting somewhere like in this bed, and then he'll decide, I want to sit in that. And he'll growl she'll growl at him, he'll push her off, and then either he'll chase her and then come back to this, or he'll just sit in it, or it'll be on the back of the chair or something else. So yeah, that's what they're like. And they'll often have kerfuffles, these two, her and Gizmo. They always will have an arguing session. She'll be growling at him, and then he'll just stare at her. Sometimes it's just there to he just does it to wind her up. And then sometimes it'll be Alfie, one of the other males that is a bit younger than Gizmo. He's always been the same ever since he got old enough to mature, not maturity, but yeah, I suppose that's the word to use. He sometimes winds Minnie up as well. You only got to sit there staring at her and watching her growl at him loads, and that's it. Sometimes he'll chase her for a bit as well, but that's it. It's just not a lot, but it can be annoying sometimes, and I have to step in to break it up. But apart from that, yeah, they all relatively get on. So yeah, she's pretty good. Min. She's had enough. She's like, go away. Go away. And yeah. Eh? What are you doing? So she does like to sit on my lap. She likes a fuss. She likes a cuddle. And then you'll see the other cats. I mean, they all get on. When the kittens came, she was not impressed. She'd do the go away type of pats to them and that, and growl at them a bit. But they've learnt now that they sort of social distance from her, otherwise they're going to get a slap. But she wouldn't hurt them, and there's been times where she's let them sit beside her, or they've snuck onto the bed where she loves this. When we moved for our last address to here, she had the worst anxiety. When we had the removal guys coming to do the house and getting all the bits out, these were all shut into the kitchen and then into the living room. And these cats, I mean, most of them were okay. It was her that was the worst one. She hid behind a mirror and wouldn't come out. And even like 1 week, because we had to do it in stages, the last bits that we needed to get, because the removal guys were being arsey and they wouldn't take everything. So we had to do future trips from the house to the flat. Yeah. They wanted to get on to the next job that they had booked on, which was like a posh house going to a posh location. So they, council lady with her council stuff and her council moving to another council flat suddenly wasn't good enough, and they wanted to just, you know, I'd paid up front for the full service, and they weren't happy that they were having to sort of delay or get someone else to do the job. So they had to, but they didn't move everything of ours anyway, they just left half of it. So I had to get another service sorted out another day with another company. I was so shit. But yeah, the cats, I mean, I told the neighbour, I says, we're coming back for the cats, don't panic. Because what we did was we followed the removal guys down to the flat, and then they were let in because my mum and dad were here. And yeah, they just basically brought the stuff in, and then when everything was dumped in a room, you know, for us to get moved, we went back and we had to do several trips, because you got to remember I've got my wheelchair that goes in the back, my electric wheelchair that goes in the car, so that takes up space. And then we were needing to get things that weren't taken with the removal guys as much as we could into the back of the car. So we had to do that in 3 trips, I think, or 4. I think it was 4. Because Minnie was the last one, and it was going dark at that point when we come back. And one of the neighbours that's really nosy was like seeing what was going on. Oh, you're back again? And I said, yeah, one more cat. And we had a mirror that was down on the floor, a big wall mirror, and she was behind that, and she was absolutely terrified, and it was just heartbreaking to watch her. And then when we got to here, the other cats were happy in the living room because they had the furniture from home that they recognised the smells from. But obviously the home was different. It's like, where have we gone to? So yeah, it took a lot of time for them to settle in and like it, but she was the one that was the worst out of the lot. She hid for days, and she only come out at one point for food, and then she'd go back into hiding again. But yeah, it took weeks for her to settle down, and now she's a different story. She's a lot better, but she loves this bed. It's like an anxiety type blanket basket. So I want to get a few more of these because they absolutely love it, and quite a few of them like being in this, but she loves it the most. So if I can get a few more for in here, in the living room and in my room, I'll be happy. Look at her. Very cosy. Hey, Min. Hey. Gorgeous girl. Right, well, that's Minnie anyway. Our queen bee, aren't you? Yeah. Who loves a little bit of cake. Cake. Ice cream. Anything of mine that's vegan. I tell you, she loves it. She loves to try a little bit. I don't let her have a lot. Just a tiny bit. And she'll happily eat it. Yeah. Yeah. Right. I shall catch you later. Thanks for watching, and I'll end this video now. But this is Minnie. Hey.